From translation, NKJV New King James Version. This 31 day of the year. Today we are reading passages Exodus 39 to 40. Exodus chapter 39, verses 1 to 31. And of the blue, purple, and scarlet thread, they made garments of ministry, to minister in them in the holy place, and made the holy garments for Aaron, as the Lord had commanded Moses. He made the ephod of gold, blue, purple, and scarlet thread, and fine woven linen. And they beat the gold into thin sheets and cut it into wires, to work it into the blue, purple, and scarlet thread, and the fine linen, with artistic design. They made shoulder straps for it to couple it together. It was coupled together by itself. And the intricately woven band of his ephod that was on it was of the same workmanship, of gold, blue, purple, and scarlet thread, and fine woven linen, as the Lord had commanded Moses. And they set onyx stones, enclosed in settings of gold, engraved with the engravings of signets like seals, each with its name, according to the 12 tribes. And they put the onyx stones on the shoulder straps of the ephod as memorial stones for the children of Israel, as the Lord had commanded Moses. He made the breastpiece like the workmanship of the ephod, of gold, blue, purple, and scarlet thread, and fine woven linen. It was square doubled, a span was its length and a span its width, being doubled. And they set in it settings of stones, 4 rows of stones. The first row was a sardius, a topaz, and an emerald. This was the first row. The second row was a turquoise, a sapphire, and a diamond. The third row was a jacinth, an agate, and an amethyst. The fourth row was a beryl, an onyx, and a jasper. They were enclosed in settings of gold in their settings. And the stones had the names of the sons of Israel, 12 according to their names, like the engravings of a signet, each one with its name according to the 12 tribes. They made on the breastpiece chains at the ends, of woven work of pure gold. They also made 2 settings of gold and 2 gold rings, and put the 2 rings on the 2 ends of the breastpiece. And they put the 2 woven chains of gold in the 2 rings on the ends of the breastpiece. The 2 ends of the woven chains they fastened in the 2 settings, and put them on the shoulder straps of the ephod in the front. They made 2 rings of gold and put them on the 2 ends of the breastpiece, on the inside edge next to the ephod. And they made 2 other gold rings and put them on the 2 sides of the ephod underneath, toward the front, by the band of the ephod, above the intricately woven band of the ephod. Then they bound the breastplate by its rings to the rings of the ephod with a blue thread, so that it was above the intricately woven band of the ephod, and so the breastplate would not come loose from the ephod, as the Lord had commanded Moses. He made the robe of the ephod of woven work, all of blue. And the opening of the robe in the middle of it, like a hole for an armor, was bound about with a woven binding all around the opening, so as not to be torn. They made on the hem of the robe pomegranates of blue, purple, and scarlet thread, and of fine woven linen. And they made bells of pure gold, and put the bells between the pomegranates on the hem of the robe, all around between the pomegranates. A bell and a pomegranate, a bell and a pomegranate, all around the hem of the robe to minister in, as the Lord had commanded Moses. They made the tunics of fine linen, woven work, for Aaron and his sons. The turban of fine linen, the artistic headbands of fine linen, the tunics of fine linen, the work of the weaver in fine linen, and the sashes of fine woven linen, with blue, purple, and scarlet thread, as the Lord had commanded Moses. The plate of the holy crown was of pure gold, and on it was an inscription like the engraving of a signet, Holiness to the Lord. And they tied to it a blue cord, to fasten it on the turban above, as the Lord had commanded Moses. Thus all the work of the tabernacle of the tent of meeting was finished. And the children of Israel did according to all that the Lord had commanded Moses, so they did. Exodus chapter 40, verses 1 to 38. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, On the first day of the first month you shall raise up the tabernacle of the tent of meeting. You shall put in it the ark of the testimony, and cover the ark with the veil. You shall bring in the table, and arrange the things that are to be set in order on it. And you shall bring in the lampstand, and light its lamps. You shall set the altar of gold for the incense before the ark of the testimony, and put the veil at the door of the tabernacle. You shall set the altar of the burnt offering before the door of the tabernacle of the tent of meeting. And you shall set the laver between the tabernacle of the meeting and the altar, and put water in it. You shall set up the court all around, and hang up the veil at the court gate. And you shall take the anointing oil, and anoint the tabernacle and all that is in it. And you shall hallow it and all its utensils, and it will be holy. You shall also anoint the altar of burnt offering and all its utensils, and consecrate it, and the altar shall be most holy. You shall also anoint the laver and its base, and consecrate it. Then you shall bring Aaron and his sons to the door of the tabernacle of meeting and wash them with water. You shall put the holy garments on Aaron, and anoint him and consecrate him, that he may minister to me as priest. And you shall bring his sons and clothe them with tunics. You shall anoint them, as you anointed their father, that they may minister to me as priests, for their anointing shall be an everlasting priesthood throughout their generations. Thus Moses did, according to all that the Lord had commanded him, so he did. And it came to pass in the 1st month of the 2nd year, on the 1st day of the month, that the tabernacle was raised up. So Moses raised up the tabernacle, fastened its sockets, set up its boards, put in its bars, and raised up its pillars. He spread the tent over the tabernacle and put the covering of the tent on top of it, as the Lord had commanded Moses. He took the testimony and put it into the ark, and put the poles on the ark, and put the mercy seat on top of the ark. And he brought the ark into the tabernacle, hung up the veil of the covering, and partitioned off the ark of the testimony, as the Lord had commanded Moses. He put the table in the tabernacle of meeting, on the north side of the tabernacle, outside the veil, and he set the bread in order on it before the Lord, as the Lord had commanded Moses. He put the lampstand in the tabernacle of meeting, across from the table, on the south side of the tabernacle, and he lit the lamps before the Lord, as the Lord had commanded Moses. He put the gold altar in the tabernacle of meeting in front of the veil, and he burned sweet incense on it, as the Lord had commanded Moses. He hung up the veil at the entrance of the tabernacle. And he set the altar of burnt offering before the entrance of the tabernacle of the tent of meeting, and offered on it the burnt offering and the grain offering, as the Lord had commanded Moses. He set the laver between the tabernacle of meeting and the altar, and put water there for washing, and Moses and Aaron and his sons would wash their hands and their feet with water from it. When they came into the tabernacle of meeting, and when they came near the altar, they would wash, as the Lord had commanded Moses. And he erected the court all around the tabernacle and the altar, and hung up the veil at the court entrance. So Moses finished the work. Then the cloud covered the tabernacle of meeting, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. And Moses was not able to enter the tabernacle of meeting, because the cloud rested above it, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. Whenever the cloud was taken up from above the tabernacle, the children of Israel would go onward in all their journeys. But if the cloud was not taken up, then they did not journey till the day that it was taken up. For the cloud of the Lord was above the tabernacle by day, and fire was over it by night, in the sight of all the house of Israel, throughout all their journeys.